Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you this. Why settle for average when you were created for greatness? Why choose comfort when success requires sacrifice? Average is easy, but do you want easy or do you want exceptional? Listen to me carefully. Average is dangerous. Average is the enemy of greatness. Average is the excuse people use when they're afraid of discipline, when they're afraid of commitment, when they're afraid of going all in. You say you want success, but you're living at average speed, average effort, average focus, and then you wonder why greatness hasn't shown up in your life. Stop being average. Success is not for the half-committed. Success is not for the almost. Success is not for the I'll try. Success belongs to the obsessed, the disciplined, the one who refuses to sleep until the dream is real. You got to understand, average people complain, but extraordinary people execute. Average people wait, but extraordinary people grind. Average people blame, but extraordinary people take ownership. If you want to separate yourself, if you want to level up, you got to kill average in your life. That means no more average mornings, no more average workouts, no more average effort at your job, no more average love in your relationships. Everything must be intentional. Everything must be purpose-driven. Ask yourself, what is your standard? Because your standard is creating your results. If your standard is average, your results will be average. But if your standard is excellence, if your standard is world-class, then your results will reflect that mindset. Listen, average won't pay your bills. Average won't build your legacy. Average won't inspire your children. Average won't leave your name in history. If you're tired of being stuck, tired of being broke, tired of being invisible, it's because you've been living in average too long. Raise the standard. Change the mindset. Decide today that you will not settle. Because the moment you stop being average, that's the moment your entire life shifts. So how long are you going to let comfort rob you of your destiny? How long are you going to stay soft, safe, and satisfied while greatness is waiting for you? It's the silent killer. Comfort whispers, it's okay, you've done enough. Comfort tells you rest, don't push harder. Comfort tells you to take shortcuts, to play it safe, to just survive instead of thrive. And guess what? That's the language of average. You say you want success, but you keep pressing snooze. You say you want to be the best, but you avoid the pain that comes with growth. You say you want to build wealth, but you're too comfortable spending instead of sacrificing. Comfort is costing you your dream. The truth, greatness doesn't live in comfort. Discipline doesn't live in comfort. Success doesn't live in comfort. Everything you want is outside of average, outside of easy, outside of what feels good. You got to stop being addicted to comfort and start being addicted to growth. Pain is your tuition for success. Sacrifice is the entrance fee for greatness. The sweat is the signature that you are serious. Average people stay the same because they avoid discomfort. Extraordinary people break records because they embrace it. Average people talk about what they want. Extraordinary people fight for it, sweat for it, cry for it, and bleed for it. Every time you choose comfort, you're rejecting the future you said you wanted. Every time you say, I'll do it tomorrow, you're settling for average today. Every time you give half effort, you are literally pushing greatness away from you. Listen to me. Comfort will leave you broke. It will leave you tired. It will leave you invisible. Stop letting comfort kill you. Push through the pain. Push through the struggle. Push through the grind. Because greatness only comes when you stop choosing average and start choosing excellence. Every single day. Stop hanging with average people. Who are you surrounding yourself with? Are the people in your circle pushing you higher or pulling you back into average? Show me your circle and I'll show you your future. You can't run with chickens and expect to soar like an eagle. You can't hang with average and expect to be extraordinary. You can't keep calling lazy people your friends and expect discipline to magically show up in your life. Listen, average people love average company. They don't want you to rise higher Because when you rise, you expose their excuses. When you grind, you make them uncomfortable. When you chase excellence, you remind them of the standards they abandoned. You say you want success, but you're still hanging out with people who laugh at discipline, who make fun of your grind, who tell you, relax, don't take life so seriously. That's the voice of average. And if you keep listening, you'll stay stuck in average too. You need a circle that holds you accountable, a circle that demands your best, a circle that won't let you quit when it gets hard, a circle that celebrates your victories but also calls you out when you slip. That's not friendship. That's family. That's iron sharpening iron. Average people will kill your dream with small thinking. Extraordinary people will breathe life into your dream with big vision. Average people will drain your energy. Extraordinary people will fuel your fire. Ask yourself, who's in your corner? Who are you texting? Who are you following? Who are you listening to? Because your environment is shaping your mindset, and your mindset is shaping your future. If you want to stop being average, you must stop hanging with average. You must surround yourself with people who are obsessed with growth, obsessed with winning, obsessed with pushing past limits. You don't owe average people your time. You don't owe negative people your energy. You don't owe lazy people your loyalty. You owe yourself greatness. You owe yourself excellence. You owe yourself the life you were designed to live. So cut the dead weight, build the right circle, and watch how fast your life changes when you stop being average by refusing to hang with average. Average effort will never build an extraordinary life. Be real with me. Are you giving Bifinger e-bike, or are you just giving enough to get by? Because average effort will never give you extraordinary results. Listen to me. Success does not come to the person who almost worked hard. Success doesn't knock on the door of the person who did just enough. Success rewards those who give their entire soul to the mission. You want an extraordinary life? You want freedom? You want wealth? You want legacy? Then hear me. Average effort won't get it done. You can't say you want greatness, but give part-time energy. You can't expect to be excellent when you treat your grind like a hobby. Extraordinary requires full commitment, mind, body, and spirit. Some of you are frustrated because you've been working, but your results aren't moving. The truth is, you haven't been working at the level your dream requires. You've been giving minimum wage effort and expecting CEO level rewards. That's not how it works. Average effort is showing up when you feel like it. Extraordinary effort is showing up when you're tired, when you're broken, when nobody's watching. Average effort is doing what's required. Extraordinary effort is going the extra mile every single time. Average effort says, I'll do enough to get through. Extraordinary effort says, I'll do whatever it takes to break through. Listen, nobody remembers the average players. Nobody writes history about the person who gave half. The spotlight shines on the ones who gave everything. The legacy belongs to the one who refused to stop when it hurt. The one who refused to quit when it got hard. The one who dug deeper when everyone else tapped out. You're not tired. You're just average in your effort. You're not stuck. You're just comfortable at Bifinger Chissers. You haven't maxed out yet. And until you max out, you don't even know what you're truly capable of. The difference between winners and losers isn't talent, it's effort. The difference between those who succeed and those who quit isn't luck, it's effort. The difference between average and extraordinary is how much of yourself you're willing to give every single day. Stop settling for average effort. Raise your standard. Grind like your life depends on it, because it does. Your family's future depends on it. Your dreams depend on it. Your legacy depends on it. You want extraordinary. Then kill average effort and go all in. Nothing less, nothing halfway. All in, every day, every rep, every second. Because extraordinary doesn't come from average. It only comes when you refuse to hold back. Stop being average in your mindset. Let me ask you, If I looked inside your mind right now, would I see a champion's mentality or an average person's excuses? Before you ever win in life, you've got to win in your mind. Before success shows up in your bank account, it's got to live in your belief system. Before greatness shows up in your results, it's got to be born in your thoughts. The reason so many people stay average isn't because they're not talented. It's because they think average. They talk average. They expect average. And as a man thinketh, so is he. You can't expect excellence when your self-talk is toxic. You can't expect world-class results when you're rehearsing failure in your head. You can't expect growth when you keep telling yourself, I can't. I'm not smart enough. I don't have what it takes. That's the mindset of average. Champions have the same RC hours, the same obstacles, the same storms, but their mindset is different. Where average people see problems, champions see opportunities. Where average people see failure, champions see feedback. Where average people say, it's impossible, champions say, it's already done. I just gotta grind until it shows up. Your mindset is the engine of your life. If it's weak, your actions will be weak. If it's average, your results will be average. But if it's locked in, powerful, disciplined, your actions will be unstoppable. Stop feeding your mind average. Stop scrolling on negativity. Stop surrounding yourself with doubt. Stop rehearsing excuses. Start feeding your mind greatness. Start reading. Start visualizing. Start affirming. Start speaking life into your goals. Average mindset says, I'll wait for the right time. Champion mindset says, the time is now. Average mindset says, I don't have enough. Champion mindset says, I'll find a way. Average mindset says, maybe one day. Champion mindset says, today I start. Today I execute. Today I dominate. The real battle isn't against the competition. The real battle is against the voice in your head telling you to settle, to wait, to quit. That voice is average. And if you want greatness, you've got to kill that voice every single day. You've got to program your mind for victory. You've got to condition your thoughts for excellence. You've got to speak like a champion, believe like a champion, and move like a champion long before the results show up. Because once your mindset shifts from average to extraordinary, your entire life will follow. Stop being average with your time. Let me ask you, how much of your day is invested in your dream? And how much is wasted on just... Because average people waste time, champions multiply it. Time is the most valuable resource you have. You can lose money and make it back. You can lose energy and recover it. But once time is gone, it's gone forever. And average people, they act like time is unlimited. They scroll, they binge, they procrastinate, and then they wonder why greatness never comes knocking. Listen, every second you waste is a second you'll never see again. Every hour you give to distractions is an hour stolen from your destiny. Every day you live average with your time is a day that could have moved you closer to success. You know, champions don't waste time. They schedule it, they guard it, they invest it. Why? Because they understand that time is the currency of success. You don't buy greatness with excuses. You buy it with disciplined hours. Average people spend their mornings in bed. Champions own their mornings before the world even wakes up. Average people fill their schedule with entertainment. Champions fill their schedule with growth, with practice, with execution. Average people complain they don't have enough time. Champions create time by cutting out what doesn't serve their vision. You know, here's the truth. You don't need more time. You need more discipline with the time you already have. You've got artist's hours like everybody else. The difference is average people waste theirs. You know, stop treating your time like it's cheap. Stop giving it to people who drain your energy. Stop wasting it on habits that don't move you forward. Start treating every hour like it's gold. Start investing in yourself. Start building, reading, learning, growing, grinding. If you can master your time, you can master your life. Because time, when used with focus, creates consistency. Consistency creates momentum. Momentum creates results. And results create greatness. Ask yourself, if someone tracked your last 7 days, would they see a champion or would they see average? Would they see someone serious about success or someone wasting their gift? Stop being average with your time. Guard it. Protect it. Use it to build the life you dream of. Because the truth is, greatness is not built in one big moment. It's built in the hours nobody's watching. The minutes nobody claps for. The seconds you use with precision while average people are wasting theirs. Your future depends on what you do with your time today. Don't waste it. Don't play with it. Don't live average. Live intentional. Live excellent. Live legendary. Stop being average in your standards. Let me ask you, what's your standard? Do you hold yourself to excellence or do you keep lowering the bar just to feel comfortable? Your standards determine your success, not your talent, not your background, not even your opportunities. It's your standards, what you allow, what you accept, what you demand from yourself every single day. You know, average people live with low standards. They're okay with sloppy work. They're okay with cutting corners. They're okay with showing up late, leaving early, giving half effort. And then they complain when life gives them half results. Right? Let me tell you something. Life will always meet you at the level of your standards. If you tolerate average, you'll get average. If you demand greatness, life will force you to rise to that level. Okay? Look around at the most successful people you know. Their standards are high. They don't accept excuses from themselves. They don't let themselves coast. They don't settle for good enough. Every detail matters. Every effort counts. Excellence is the baseline, not the exception. Some of you are praying for success while living with average standards. You say you want a strong body, but your eating habits are average. You say you want financial freedom, but your spending is average. You say you want leadership, but your consistency is average. Stop lying to yourself. Your life is only reflecting your standards. Raise them. Demand more from yourself. Demand more from your time, your discipline, your relationships, your focus. Don't just say, I want to win. Make winning your standard. Don't just say, I'll do my best. Make excellence your only option. Understand this. When you raise your standards, everything changes. Your friends change. Your habits change. Your results change. Your future changes because when average walks into the room and you've raised your standard, average doesn't feel comfortable anymore. Yeah. Champions don't get to the top by chance. They rise because they refuse to accept mediocrity in any area of their lives. Their mindset is, if it has my name on it, it will be excellent. Period. Good. Ask yourself, what are your non-negotiables? Where are you letting average slide in? Because greatness starts when you say, never again will I accept less than my best. Stop living with low standards. Stop lowering the bar. Stop settling for good enough. Raise your standards. Raise your life. Because average is not your destiny. Excellence is. Stop being average in your execution. How many dreams have you killed because you never executed? How many ideas died inside you because you moved like average instead of acting like greatness? Listen to me. Dreams don't work unless you do. Ideas don't feed your family. Plans don't build your future. Goals don't pay the bills. Execution does. You know, the difference between the great and the average isn't talent. It's execution. Average people wait for the perfect moment. Extraordinary people move now. Average people say, I'll do it when I feel ready. Extraordinary people execute even when they don't feel like it. And you've been carrying the same dream for years, talking about it, writing it down, posting about it, but you haven't executed on it. You're still at the starting line, paralyzed by fear, waiting for everything to be perfect. And while you're waiting, average is stealing your future. Execution doesn't require perfection. It requires movement. It requires action. It requires boldness. Champions understand that action beats excuses. every single time. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a relentless work ethic. You don't need permission. You need discipline. You don't need luck. You need execution. Think about it. How many businesses never started because somebody was waiting? How many books were never written because somebody was scared? How many dreams are buried in the graveyard because somebody moved like average instead of executing like greatness? Stop being average with your execution. Stop overthinking. Stop procrastinating. Stop waiting for motivation. Execution creates motivation. The moment you start moving, the fire inside you grows. Average execution says, I'll do enough to get by. Right? Champion execution says, I'll do whatever it takes to get it done. Average execution says, maybe one day. Champion execution says, day one starts today. Listen, success doesn't respect intentions. It respects execution. Discipline, consistency, follow through. That's the currency of greatness. Ask yourself right now, where have you been average in your execution? Where have you been delaying? Where have you been hiding? Where have you been making excuses? That's the exact place where you need to attack with relentless execution. Stop living like you have forever. You don't. Stop waiting for tomorrow. You may not get it. Stop playing with your gift like average people do. Execute now. Execute daily. Execute relentlessly. Because when you execute at a high level, when you commit to action over excuses, that's when your dream shifts from imagination to reality. Extraordinary isn't in the idea. It's in the execution. Stop being average in your sacrifice. What are you willing to give up to go up? Because average people want success without sacrifice, but champions know you can't have both. Everybody wants to be successful until they see the price tag. Everybody wants greatness until they realize it costs something. And here's the truth. Average people quit the moment sacrifice is required. That's why they stay average. You say you want freedom, but you won't sacrifice comfort. You say you want wealth, but you won't sacrifice unnecessary spending. You say you want help, but you won't sacrifice bad habits. You say you want leadership, but you won't sacrifice excuses. Average people want the reward without the grind. They want the destination without the journey. They want the championship ring without the practice. They want to shine without sweating. But champions understand sacrifice is the entrance fee to greatness. Sacrifice is not punishment. It's preparation. Every early morning, every late night, every party you skip, every dollar you save, every rep you push, every distraction you cut, it's not loss. It's leverage. It's building the version of you that can handle the weight of success. Listen to me. The life you're dreaming of has requirements. And if you're not willing to sacrifice, you're not qualified to live that life. That dream body, it requires sacrifice in the kitchen, sacrifice in the gym. That business, it requires sacrifice of time, sacrifice of energy, sacrifice of comfort. That legacy, it requires sacrifice of selfishness, sacrifice of excuses, sacrifice of average. The problem is most people want to hold on to everything and still win. They want comfort and growth. They want average and greatness, but you can't have both. Sacrifice is the bridge from where you are to where you want to be. Ask yourself, what are you clinging to that's keeping you average? Is it your laziness, your fear, your distractions, your need for approval, your toxic circle? Whatever it is, if you don't sacrifice it, it will sacrifice your dream. And hear me, if you refuse to sacrifice for your dream becomes a sacrifice. Champions live by this rule. I will give up what I must to become who I must. They sacrifice sleep for discipline, entertainment for education, excuses for execution. They understand that sacrifice today equals success tomorrow. So stop crying about what you have to let go of. Start celebrating what you're making room for. Because sacrifice doesn't just take, It gives. It gives clarity. It gives clarity. It gives growth. It gives strength. It gives results. Stop being average in your sacrifice. Stop holding back. Stop clinging to comfort. If you want greatness, pay the price. If you want legacy, pay the price. If you want freedom, pay the price. Because sacrifice isn't the enemy of success. It's the evidence that you're serious about success. Stop being average in your legacy. When your name is mentioned after you're gone, will people say you lived with fire, or will they say you lived average? What story will your life tell? Average dies with you. Legacy lives beyond you. The question is not, what did you do for yourself? The question is, what did you leave behind for others? You know, average people chase comfort, chase money, chase survival. And the moment they're gone, their story disappears. Champions chase legacy. They live in such a way that their name carries weight long after they're gone. Their story doesn't die. It multiplies. Ask yourself, what will your children inherit? Just your last name or the blueprint of greatness? What will your community remember? That you settled or that you set the standard? What will the world say? That you existed or that you made an impact? You know, listen, legacy isn't built in one big moment. It's built in the small daily decisions where you choose excellence over average. It's built in the way you show up when nobody's watching, the way you grind when nobody's clapping, the way you sacrifice when it's inconvenient. You know, average legacy says they worked, they paid bills, they got by. Extraordinary legacy says they changed the game, they opened doors, they raised the bar. They made it possible for others to dream bigger. And let me be real, your legacy is being written right now. Every decision is a sentence. Every action is a paragraph. Every year is a chapter. And the book of your life will either inspire generations or be forgotten as just another average story. Stop being average in your legacy. Stop living small. Stop playing safe. Stop waiting for tomorrow. Your legacy starts today. You don't need to be perfect to leave a legacy. You need to be consistent. You don't need to be famous to leave a legacy. You need to be faithful. You don't need millions to leave a legacy. You need discipline, character, and impact. Think about it. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Muhammad Ali, Nelson Mandela, Mother Teresa, Eric Thomas. Why do their names echo? Because they refused to live average. They lived with conviction. They lived with discipline. They lived with purpose. So I'm asking you, what's your excuse? Why are you settling for average when your life was designed for impact? Why are you hiding your gift when your gift was meant to shift the world? Why are you wasting your days when your days could build your destiny? You only get one life. One shot, one story to tell. Don't let average write it for you. Don't let fear steal your pen. Don't let excuses dictate your ending. Live bold, live disciplined, live relentless, live with passion, live with purpose. Live in such a way that when you're gone, people can't ignore your impact. Because average is temporary, but legacy is forever. Stop being average. If this hit you, drop, I will not be average. In the comments, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe, because greatness starts here, and it starts now.